try this over again. Hi, it's Friday, the 4th, and what I want to talk about is police and police reform. Let me say, I have a big problem with the policeman next door, and I have to take the problems that I had with policemen back to May 2010 when we had a flood here. We had a major flood here, and this policewoman was yelling at me, about evacuate, and I'm like, no, I'm good, And now she's standing on dry land, she's standing on the sidewalk where I'm at, because I live on top of a hill and I have a retaining wall, and there's another house over here that's on top of the hill that one of the policemen bought, right? So that house didn't flood either because it's on top of a hill. But water did come to his driveway. Water stopped at the bottom of where my property began. Again, I'm sitting on 13 little lots over here. Well, lots are all the same size, I reckon. But anyway, so she's standing on my now I'm looking, I'm out there because it's a lot of activity going on out here. Now, the main people that really needed evacuation was down there. Those people, they didn't get evacuated till after the flood, but she was real concerned about, she wasn't going down there to get her feet wet. So anyway, so she's yelling at me, and so then she called the electric people, I guess, to turn my electricity off to force me out, right? Now, not thinking about I got food or whatever I might have up in my house, totally disrespecting, totally disrespecting herself, because that shows me a lack of comprehension and ignorance, and it shows me a lot of ignorance. So anyway, the electricity guy, he just can't turn it off. My bill's paid. It's been paid up, and he's standing on dry land. She's standing on dry land. So she's now outraged. She's real aggravated with me. She's frustrated with me. She can't do nothing else. What I'm saying? She could have went down to where it was flooding and helped those two old ladies, but they didn't get out until the next day, to where it was impossible for them to get out. Okay? And I think one of us called the news or somebody, and they went out there with a raft to get her. But over here was dry land, because again, we're on top of the hill, and we have a retaining wall, and we got a bumper from another house. You know what I'm saying? That's on top of the hill. So it just, things get slowed down because of it. Can't go uphill. So anyway, so she's yelling at me, and finally she goes, well, what will make you leave this house? And I told her, I said, when water runs uphill. Well, it just tickled the policeman and everybody else. And I'm still serious, because I'm not understanding this lady, because she's standing on dry land. To me, this is just the most ignorant shit I ever heard in my life. But the whole time, she got mad. So the next time, I come back, I go up to the bank or whatever, and I didn't have a car at that time. I walk or whatever, and I know I take the cuts, which one cut takes me right through the tracks, which is where I can lose everybody. Who knew I was losing undercover cops? Because I'm not going down where the dope dealers are. I'm going through a cut that's a quarter of a block before that, but it's on that same street. But to get on my street, which is a flat street, I can walk flat instead of on a hilly street. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why certain streets I'll pick, because I don't want to be walking all the way uphill, on the way. Anyway, so I have the money on me, right? So they stopped me right here, police car, and then this pet bull followed me. Black and white pet bull followed me. My dog's in the yard, because I went way far, and I didn't want to follow me. And and I had the fence. Well, anyway, so they take my money out. She puts me in the car, and like I don't know, somehow like they could just like cut out the air that's in the back. I almost died back there, having me sitting there. But said she's waiting on the dog pound. My dog's looking at him. The pet bull's still back there, and so like when I get out and shit, they have me next to the pet bull. I know this pet bull has been following me. I'm not scared of this dog. I know like his name Oreo. You know, I sort of know like the story, what happened to it. You know, somebody got tired of it. You know, she was female, never got fixed. Sweet dog. Look vicious. Like a dog, she will bark. You know, like she's cool. You know, and so like that really pissed the lady off. She spit on me, right? But anyway, I went in the house, right? Now, granted, I ain't never did nothing to this lady. Even when I was on my, you know what I'm saying? Like, in some of the people, like in the housing thing, like I tried to explain to them that, you know what I'm saying, I had nothing to do with the flood because my house didn't get flooded. They still could not comprehend. They're like, oh, you could get paid. I'm like, no, I can't because my house didn't get flooded. I didn't, you know, sign up with anything with FEMA. And they, you know, when they came around, like they noticed that my house was, my house was in the flood zone, but my house didn't get flooded because the water didn't run uphill. It stopped at the bottom of the hill. I don't know. It's like you can see that mailbox over there. It stopped right at that mailbox, that brick mailbox. I don't know if you saw it or not. I showed it. But anyway, and there were snakes in the bottom of there, and oh shoot, ants! I stepped right in the hill of ants. Well, anyway, so this policeman moved over here, like. I said hi to him, you know, whatever. I said, hi, I'm the proprietor. You know, just use it. You know what? Just using, you know, just like trying to be like neighborly, friendly. I think I used the wrong word because he's like, I don't fuck with no crackhead prostitute. So I think he thinks proprietor is like prostitute. Or like, you know, like South, they like to misunderstand shit in a way to try to make you feel bad. But instead, like, I'm like, okay, I see how you was raised, which, you know, which, like, I guess that's not what the response they want either. Because, like, you know, but see, this guy next door, these guys, he mowing now, but, and I guess I don't know what he thinks, but I know what he messes with, so I can see how he could get, you know, like jaded when it comes to, but like, anyway, you don't get a lot of respect. But I've gotten 2 letters from the city hall talking about, you know, like they looked into, like, I guess they hacking shit or whatever. But when they do hack shit, your shit ends up going offline. I used to be able to, like, to walk almost like to the mailbox with my phone, whatever. You know, like they break shit. Intentionally. Like they took that, like the fence off and some other shit off, like one chair off on my porch, I guess, which a chair I shouldn't have had on because it was the matching chair to the kitchen, but it was a metal chair, I guess, to make it seem like somebody stole it from the metal. But they just took it so they could get my dog. They finally got the dog and killed it. You know, people, if you could get whooped as a child and turn around and whoop something, the way they treat their animals, you know, you can't tell them no different. I mean, it's abusive. So, and so like, and I had like the undercover cops, like when I go to the grocery store, when I go to the doctors, when I go to the pharmacy, like this one, he says he's a white one. First time I see him, he's like, now he thinks I don't recognize him. He thinks he's really incognito, but you know, basically, like he right about one thing: I don't know you, and knowing and recognizing somebody is 2 different things, and you know. But anyways, like first time I seen him was outside the doctor's office, and like I just didn't go back there anymore because he was talking about pain pills or some pain pills or whatever, and I'm like, here, I'll just give you a Tylenol if you shut the fuck up after a while. But he's like, oh, I date black women. And like, I guess I was like, which I guess he noticed, like, I don't give a fuck. Because first of all, you let me know you got somebody. So, all right, I'm already not interested. Second of all, you already seem very disrespectful. I'm not going to get with somebody that's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And I know this from experience. You know, like, your ass ain't gonna get no better. And so, you know, like, I don't like it. I don't like anything about his personality, his attitude, or anything he has to say to me. It's like crazy to me. So this same one comes up in the church, and he got like sweats on, and he got something drip down. First, like, this is my first time going to this church, and like, so I'm thinking I'm looking cute. So I'm going to the Sunday school talk about justice, because I think that they should, you know, be reforming these children that come out of juvie, and they come out, and the grown-ups also that come out of their prisons and whatnot, you know, because they have like, still have like them picking peas and cotton and all this shit, which when they come out, there really aren't any jobs like that. The only jobs they have like that are, you know, picking cotton peas if you don't own your own land or whatever, is that they have basically still slave slavery down here doing that. So you need a reform, because we need to have more manufacturing stuff done here in America. I don't care if it's manufacturing solar panels or windmills, you know, go green, because that's where the new money is, you know what I'm saying? Or something smart like that, where, because like we're way behind. Like I was looking at these British police stories, just to get an idea of the difference between the American police and the British police. Here you can tell there's systemic racism that is organized and that is used to put a wedge and divide the country in such a sense that it might outrage, and we'll have a civil war and allow our enemies, you know, like the ones, it was more than one in the Cold War. It was more than just Russia, China, you know, North Korea. A lot of the United States has done a lot of dirt, the same as they did a lot of dirt to black people, African Americans, whatever, brown people, Mexicans, or Hispanic, or whatever you got, Asians, and, you know, Chinese, Japanese, you know. I mean, we weren't very good when we went over to Vietnam, but that's where our manufacturing is. You know, India, China, Korea, you know, Vietnam, Saigon, Japan. That's where they're manufacturing. That's where the people's living standards have, you know, increased over the last 50, 60 years, as ours has declined because we're more into the service industry. So you have to sort of poison the people's minds. You know, it's just like we knew from Oliver North when they had I think, what do you call it, when the Senate and when Congress got together over the cocaine coming out of Colombia, and the CIA and the military was down there guarding the cocaine and making sure that it gets trafficked up here, because trust me, when it comes to the Army, Navy, Marines, whatever, they know how to get supplies. You know, that was number one things, is you have to feed the troops. You know, you have to keep the troops healthy enough to go out there, basically, or kill. But, you know, so to get people distracted, it was all ones, oh, you know, these crackheads are the worst. I think Rick Ross, not the one that was a policeman and then became I guess he said he was a jailer, that then became a rapper, you know, stealing Rick Ross' name, and, you know, Like it was still like, even though he had made some music, if other people that was famous have, changed their names or whatever, he could have been. Again, it's a matter of respecting yourself. It's not that he disrespect the original Rick Ross, Highway Boys or gang or whatever. Is that really, that shows you how they was brought up, to a certain way of thinking? Because not everybody thinks like that. Some people like, oh shit, I'll just be, like I'll just be, myself or something, and do a rap song with Rick Ross in it. You know what I'm saying? Or, something like that. If they can sell it another way or whatever. Or just be RR. But something. But the idea was because, like, oh, well, we stole your money and we taxed and we took all your stuff, ha, 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 we're going to let you out, you have nothing. And that's part of, like, what I was about when I went to that church. Well, this policeman's over there talking about how he sucked dick and got his dick sucked up in the church. Nothing to do, at that time, I didn't know that what I'm really talking about is police reform. Because if they have enough time to go to my church, to fuck up my service that I pay $150 a month for, probably frustrated because they fucked it up so much. I don't, how am I use my phone? I can't really use that stuff. I'm not on Facebook no more, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want the ignorant, narcissistic, like they so paranoid, like it's all about them, when, baby, I'm all about ending student loans, forgiving outstanding student loans, helping to heal. But like, I am for police reform, because if they have enough time to basically do harmful, hurtful, and stuff that causes the neighborhood property value to go down. It's like even him moving in next door, and the neighbors is telling me now that they saw this fool standing over by my car, you know what I'm saying? And they don't fuck the car, with the car, because, like, first of all, if you want to kill one of those motherfuckers, give them a sports car. Put some insurance on it. You don't have to do nothing, just give them the keys. Because let me tell you something, the same way this motherfucker, he gonna run his mouth and up being paranoid, thinking like, you know what I'm saying, that he gonna trip over his own tongue. But anyway, other people know this shit, and other people, they get tired of people like them, like, at least that's what they say. Like, he over in my goddamn yard. You know what I'm saying? If you got time to fuck somebody else's shit up, I guess I'll take, and I know, like, my gas line, this doctor I went to that was with the Memphis health department told me he was in my house. My gas line was fucked with. So, that's one of the problems that you have a problem with, like, black people like that, because they have so much self-hate, I mean, like, how much do you really have to hate your child, in a sense? And, like, I think a lot of women go through that. It's, like, sometimes, like, if you're a teen mom, whatever, it could be shame, embarrassment, people are gonna, like, call you, like, like, going from the baby girl to your hoe, you get a stigma, and it's a significant type of even racism that women have to take. And then if you're black, or what if you're female and you're gay, or you're male and you're gay, or a transgender or something, and you have to deal with double-binding hypocrites, which will reject their hate for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I gotta be, like, honest with you. Like, gay, straight, or whatever you want to be. Like, if you, like, a cool person, don't cost me money to go to jail, or, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to babysit you, you know what I'm saying? You ain't a thief, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know how to ask, or that's what you got a job to, you could go get it yourself. It depends on the type of person you are. If I'm gonna fuck with you, you know, and you know what I'm saying? And like, I like living alone. I don't have to deal with no drama, you know. But these motherfuckers come on my property and come in my motherfucking house. You know what I'm saying? Now I know, like, their whole idea. Well, if I was her, I'd be running up into their house. I don't want nothing to fucking do with you. I even told you. I'm like, you gonna stay off my property? I asked him, but he was recording me. I'm like, you gonna stay off my property? So he takes it a threat because I asked him, we won't have a problem if you just leave me alone and stay away from me and stay off my property. The only reason why we have a problem because you come over here, tear up and fuck up shit, and you don't like my words. You know what I'm saying? And now other people are noticing shit, and maybe other motherfucker that was raised, they got ideas that, you know what I'm saying, that, oh, well, I don't know, he's a policeman, he look like a fucking stalker, like, why he worried about you? I'm like, what do you think he worried about me? Because he, and they got their ideas, and I'm like listening, because, I ain't from around here. Maybe this motherfucking titty sucking two ball bitch, hoe ass walking like, like they been sitting in that car eating a lot of fast food. It's a low life piece of shit, for real. And but he works for the Memphis Police Department. And to them, like, they automatically think, oh, I work for the police department, I should have respect. If people only respect people that, not because, oh, you hit me or you can throw me in jail or anything like that, just that you respect yourself and you're sort of like, it'll just come out of you. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? If you think you gotta beg for it or you gotta earn it, you haven't really worked for it. You haven't, you know what I'm saying? Respect starts in the house as you're a child. And your parent respects the fact that when you're a baby, that if you're crying, it's not to aggravate them. It's because you can't talk yet. That's the only way you can communicate. And all you need is a new baby in the world. Is food, a dry ass, right? And a dry, like a dry body, not sticky underneath the neck, or you know what I'm saying, but a clean body, clothing, that's it. And to a certain age, and information. Kids like information. It's like input. They come in as a blank slate. And so, like, if your only information is that you're gonna hit them, and like, you think that discipline is punishment. Punishment and discipline is different. And when you discipline somebody, you are making them be like, you're training them. Like, okay, we're gonna sit down this time, and we're gonna cook some, put some food together, and we're gonna sit down and eat. We're gonna get ready for bed. We're gonna wash our face, brush our teeth, change our, our street clothes into, our night stuff to sleep in. And maybe that entails taking a bath. Maybe you might bathe in the morning, whatever, and just wash up at night. You might bathe at night, wash up in the morning, whatever. But, what I'm saying? So you're disciplining, like, you're not disciplining. Well, in a way you are disciplining because you're training them. But they have disciplining as like a punishment, as a way of hurting, you know what I'm saying? Instead of, like, they're not teaching them. They don't have healthy play with their child, to where, like, healthy play, even with a little, like, newborn, might be just like pushing their hands back and forth, or counting their toes and doing the three, like, this piggy went here, this piggy went there, it's Speedy Spider, things like this, because it's helping them learn language, reading them to a book or whatever, and you're actually teaching them, and that is the type of discipline that they'll take with them their whole life, is feeling comfortable and okay to learn, and also to figure out that sometimes, like you make mistakes, you don't have, what I'm saying, that you can learn from those mistakes, that it's not a bad thing, like, like maybe you're making fudge, but you mess up the fudge as a child, and you end up making fudge brownies. So you can see that you could have solutions. So you're learning, solutions on how to solve things to make your life easier and better, opposed to like, oh, well, this person did this to me. And well, anyway, that's why I think that we do have to have police reform. Because one thing, if you could get all this overtime running around wondering why water don't run uphill, there's a there's there's a major problem, major fraction in your comprehension and your ability to learn, even want to continue to learn. There's something fucked up about that. But anyway, so what I am saying is that we do need reform, but it has to start with educating our kids. It has to they're doing with them being able to comprehend, have self-respect, and because like to try to teach them by disrespecting the child, like hitting them, like say ma'am or whatever. Well, if you're hitting your child, then you're causing them pain, and basically you're torturing them. The way I see some of these parents, and all the best intent, but they ain't gonna take 2 minutes out and relearn stuff. Like the same thing I see people with their dogs. Like they're not gonna go and learn how to train their dog the correct way so they won't shit in the house. No, they're gonna put them in a crate. The dog shits like any normal mammal, like they did whatever. They're gonna leave the shit with the dog. It's gonna teach them a lesson, which doesn't. Just like if you leave a baby in a shitty diaper all day, it doesn't teach the baby not to shit. Keep feeding it. So they'll hit it or whatever. But mostly leave it in a cage, don't walk it. Anyway, and most of these kids are not getting enough positive interaction. To mammals very important. And we are still mammals. We are still humans first and foremost. And I think that we have to fix the school system. We have to rethink the way we jail and prison people, and that we want them to come out of these prisons, out of these jails, to be part of the workforce so we could have a healthy country. Because right now, we don't have a healthy country. We have a country that's being run by the people that manufacture stuff, and the stuff ain't being manufactured here. So, police reform. We need to put money back into the education, back into healthy food for kids. Home ed even if home ed might look different. Home ed might be, more computer based or something. Because so it's something we do every day in our life. So we might have to rethink, what type of business we want. Do we want prostitution, drugs, and criminals? Because you can see with Trump, he only thinks like a criminal does. He thinks everybody's a criminal, just like this policeman. He only thinks like a criminal. He's the worst criminal than I could ever possibly dream of. Because personally, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck their problem is. But you know what I'm saying? They sick. I think we have to cure it. And it's very simple. It's how we treat our children. Do we want smart, productive kids, or do we want to have some of the learning disabilities that we have now with our children? I think it'd be corrected with healthy parents. It's not only the woman that has to not, be on drugs, alcohol, or have a poor diet, or too much, either starving, eating too much or lack of exercise. We have to more think about what we want for our future. And, who else is going to take care in your old age? I guess I'll be by myself. Police reform. We need to take our money, put it in the education system, put it in educating not only from pre-kin to 12th grade, but we need to with college, we need to educate them to come out of juvie, to come out of prison, so they can hit the workforce. We can't be jealous if they start making more money than we do. We should only be ashamed of the homeless people and the never mind. Should be 30 minutes. Police reform, and we need to forgive student loans.